So I thought I would make a video and show you guys what my yard looks like right now in spring. It's April 8th and it's finally nice enough for me to come out here and get some work done. I was actually working most of the day, just getting things tidy and cleaning, and I was working on that little area over there, that little space I'll show you right now, and just getting some stuff cleaned. There was a lot of weeds, and I was taking care of that with the weed whacker. And yeah, so let me give you guys a little tour. Winter was not too bad. I think we got temperatures in the mid to low 20s. Like, I think that's as cold as it got. So it wasn't too bad. I don't think we got in the teens. It wasn't too bad. I had some citrus in the ground protected, and I'll show you what they look like and how they did. Not too bad. And yeah, it was a not too cold winter, but still, still cold. We got a few days, 1 or 2 days of snow, like a light snow, and maybe 3 days, a few days of snow. We don't always get snow, but this year we did. And it was also a very wet winter. So we did get a lot of rain, which I love, and we are in a desert. So we need the rain. I love the rain. So we did get a lot of rain, which is why we got a lot of like wild grasses, or just some grasses and weeds. So I was out here cleaning and setting up that little area today, and yeah, just enjoying the garden, and that's what I was doing today. So this is my loquat. I'm gonna start showing you guys the trees. This is my loquat. I grew from seed. I don't remember exactly how old it is, but still no flowers yet. It could be a little bit loud. I am in a corner lot, so there's a lot of traffic, like cars and stuff, and when people walk by, my dogs might start to bark, so I apologize if it's a little noisy. So the loquat, it's putting on new growth. This tree likes to put new growth in the spring and in the fall. It doesn't do a lot of growing in the hot summer months, but in the fall it likes to grow. I've noticed it likes to grow in the fall when the temperatures are not too hot or too cold, and also in the spring. So there's a lot of new growth on these tips. So yeah, my loquat, I got the seeds off of, I think I ordered them on Amazon a long time ago, years ago. Not too many years ago, but I don't remember exactly how old this tree is, but maybe 3-4 years old at least. I'll have to go back and look at the videos and see how old this tree is. All right, so right over here, along my house, there's 3 pots, and I have figs. A Violet de Bordeaux in that pot, and that one, I think it's a Cordon Blanc. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing those names correctly, but that's new. That I got that one in the middle in the fall, and then that one over there, I believe it's a blackjack. And then I'll get a little bit closer when I get over there. Well, I'll show you this one. They kind of are the same, like, so they're starting to leaf out, and you can see the little figs already formed. So there's a baby fig right there, baby figs everywhere, new leaves, and the other 2 are at this stage as well. So, and that's where I was in that corner, but the sun is setting. It's the afternoon. Well, it's the sun setting around 7 o'clock here in my area, but this is a better picture so that the sun's not in the camera. So here we have a citrus. This is a yuzu citrus seedling, and you can see what it looks like. So you guys, this little tree has been in the ground at least 2 winters. So unprotected. It does just wonderful. Unprotected in my zone 8B, a yuzu seedling, and last year it like shot up. See, it's like pretty tall. It's like 2 feet tall, maybe 2.5, 2 feet tall. But yeah, it's really hardy. I don't do nothing special, no protection, no jacket, no frost cloth, nothing. It is a little like thin, like it doesn't have a lot of leaves, especially on this side. We get really high winds here in my area, so it's missing some leaves, but it's not because of winter damage, it's because of wind damage. Like they just fly off when the winds get really high. But really pretty tree. It looks better than my other 2 trees that are in the ground, my other 2 citrus trees that are in the ground that are grafted. They just don't do as well. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because it's a seedling or because it's just a better location. But it's got huge thorns and it's doing wonderful. Like, I don't know if you can see, but it's got tons of little new little branches forming and leaves. So it's gonna bush out all along here. Oops. I don't know if it'll focus, but okay. There you go. There's lots of little buds everywhere. Yeah, so this is gonna look really pretty in a few weeks. But that's my yuzu. You see it next to the plum tree. So those are pawpaws in those with those plant jackets. Those are pawpaws. They're very this one's a seedling, that's a grafted variety. And the pawpaws here in my area, they really hate our hot summers, our really dry hot summers. This is a desert climate, so they need some shade. So I'm using that frost cloth, that plant jacket that I was using for the citrus trees in the ground. I am now using them for shade protection for the pawpaws. So in the summer I use them for the pawpaws, in the winter I use them for the citrus, the 2 citrus I have in the ground. This one I don't protect because it's never needed it. So I've never seen a reason to protect it. There's the Shiro yellow plum, looking beautiful. It's a really heavy producer. Look at all those flowers. Already have tons of tiny little plums that already set fruit. I have to thin this a lot. Something kind of sad that happened it started in late summer and in the fall, so over the fall and the winter, the Santa Rosa plum died. So I only have 1 plum tree. It's a little sad, but I think it was 8 or 9 years old. I think we've been in this house for like 10 years. And what happened was, yeah, I had to cut it down. It died. It started drying up. It got a bug, a burrowing like insect burrowed into the main trunk, and then it just started killing the tree. So I noticed like whole branches started to dry up and die. in the late summer, and then I was hoping I could save the tree, but I couldn't save it. So I no longer have the Santa Rosa plum. I only have this Shiro yellow plum, looking beautiful. But I might get another plum to replace the one that died. So that's how it looks now. Lots of fruit on that already set. So this little area I worked on today. So I moved the fire pit. It used to be somewhere over there. And then I have this that I want to work on and use it as a raised bed. I have to get some drainage holes in there. I think I have to get some sort of adapter for my power drill to drill holes into this galvanized container, and maybe get some, I don't know if I want to do flowers or some sort of veggies or herbs, or I don't know, veggies, herbs, flowers maybe. I also have those two pots, these really big pots. I had peppers in there last year, but this is a little, oh no, the sun. But let me show you what it looks like. So I have the two big pots in the front, the fire pit in the middle, and then I have that bed towards the back. I have this little section here. I think it'll look really pretty once I get them planted. The two containers, the three containers, well, the raised galvanized bed and the two containers in the front. I might do flowers, I don't know. All of this, a lot of this wood here in the fire pit is branches from the plum tree that died, the Santa Rosa. So I'm gonna burn that, or I might use that at the bottom, because that's gonna take a lot of dirt. I might put some of that wood at the bottom and then do the topsoil so that I don't have to use that much dirt, that much potting soil in here, because it's gonna take a lot, because it's pretty big. I don't know yet, but it's either getting burned or it's getting put in at the bottom of this bed, and then it'll just break down and decompose. I'm not sure yet, but this is what this looks like right now without any plants. We have my pistachio tree. This is my female, and it's waking up. You can see green tips. So this is going to be really pretty. You need a male and a female, and I do have a male. It's smaller. Put the female in like a year or two before the male. It'll look really pretty once it leaves out. Starting maybe another week, it'll have some pretty leaves. Another week or two. But it's got a nice shape going. Yeah, it's about 7 feet tall. And that's the male right next to it. Pistachio. This is the male, it's waking up too. You can see the little green tips. So this will pollinate. I should have had the male on this side, on my right side, instead of the left side of the female, because the wind usually blows and they're wind pollinated. So, but it should be fine, because it's gonna grow into each other. They're only like 2.5 feet or 2 feet apart, 2.5 feet apart maybe. So that's the pistachio. I don't remember the variety of the female pistachio, but the male, I think it's on here. Peter's male pistachio. Here's another pawpaw. And then we have a pomegranate. It's the pink eyes, or I forgot the name of it. satin. I think it goes by different names, satin pomegranate or pink ice, but it's like a pink variety. Like instead of being red on the inside, it's kind of pink. It's supposed to be sweeter and non-staining, but it's awake. The pomegranates look really pretty at this time of the year. Like the new leaves are a pretty red color. Then they go green. Then you get those beautiful red blooms. Here's the quince. The quince tree. It's tall. Taller than the pistachio, yeah. And it leafed out pretty early. One of the earliest to leaf out. The new leaves are kind of fussy. Looks like they have a lot of like little peach fuzz. So it gives them that little silvery color. And it's starting to set blooms. Last year I didn't let it fruit. I took off the fruit. This year I'll maybe keep a couple on there. Because I was more worried about the structure and having it grow. So there it is. A lot of my trees are planted pretty close to each other, but I don't think it'll be a problem. I can always prune them. So here it is, my quince tree. And it always, it's really reliable. It always sets fruit if you want. If you want fruit, it'll set fruit. I want my trees. I didn't actually prune this tree this year. I mean, as far as the height, I want height. I want shade in my backyard. So I did very, very minimal light pruning. I didn't prune this one. I didn't actually prune the height off of the plum tree either. So you can see how tall it is. It's a little bit taller than the wall, and it's 6 feet, so it's maybe 7 feet. In the loquat in the back. So I did very light, very light pruning. So here, right next to the quince, so you can see the whole tree. It looks like a little stick right now, but it's waking up. This is a crab apple. It's the Whitney crab apple. And it looks like it's gonna have lots of blooms. All these little fruiting spurs. And let me see. Yeah, this is better. Yeah, that's better. The lighting. So you have all your little fruiting spurs here. I think last year I had like 1 or 2 fruits, so maybe we're gonna get more fruit this year. They're not really good. I don't think they're like really good eating quality. They're okay, maybe. But I think it's grown mostly for ornamental purposes. Like it's a really pretty tree and the blooms are gonna be really pretty. The color of this tree is really pretty. It's got like an orange color to the wood, sometimes red. It's getting tall. It's like maybe 5 feet tall. Maybe 5 feet tall. Well, you can see it compared to the quince. It's starting to get a nice shape. It's got 1 branch and then it breaks off into 3. And then here is my citrus. This thing is really hardy too. Just like the, it's in the ground. Just like the yuzu that I showed you, the first citrus I showed that was in the ground, the seedling. This is another seedling and it also does amazing. No protection. Look at all the new growth. This thing grows like crazy, like feet every season. Look at this already. already that's like 1.5 inches of new growth. So it grows fast, and the fruit's not that bad. This is a trifoliate cross with an orange. I think they call it a what did they call it? Citrange. I think it's a citrange. It's cold hardy because of the trifoliate, one of the trifoliate parents. It's a cross. It's a hybrid, and the fruit's not too bad. They look like little tiny oranges. I grew this from a fruit I tried, and I grew the seed, and it grows really, really fast. It was already 6 feet tall. I pruned this a lot. I did prune this a lot. It was like 6 feet tall, and now it's about 3 feet tall. Look at all this is new growth, so it's gonna get nice and bushy. Then we have my pineapple guava, don't know the variety, and we have in the corner we have an olive, and it's a manzanillo olive. Really, really pretty. So these are evergreen, these 3. I'm trying to have evergreens in the corner. But yeah, that's a manzanillo olive, pineapple guava, and a silverberry. That's new. So let me show you the pineapple guava, getting nice and bushy. It's going on its 2nd year, 1 year and 1 winter down. So this is going on its 2nd year. It's been in the ground for 1 year, maybe a little bit less than a year. I think, I forget, I have so many trees. This one maybe 2 years. It's growing pretty fast. No olives. I don't see flowers forming. I see a lot of like little leaves or branches starting to come out. It's a really pretty tree, really pretty color. It's got that silvery gray color to it. But I don't see flowers. I think I saw flowers last year. I don't know what time of the year, if it flowers, what time of the year it normally happens. I don't have a lot of experience with this tree. It's never fruited for me. But again, it's only been there for like 2 years. So it's like its 2nd spring, 2nd year. But the structure is really pretty. It's an evergreen. And I have a lot of deciduous trees, not a lot of evergreens. So it's really nice in the winter to have something green to look at. There's the trunk. And then I might get rid of this branch in the future. I think it'll be a nicer shape. I don't know. Or maybe not. Who knows? But now I'm in the other corner of my yard. So we started the video in that corner. Hi, Olivia. So yeah, let's keep going. So Manzanillo olive, maybe we'll get olives this year, not sure. This is new, silverberry. A little silverberry. This thing grows really, really fast. It doesn't really care about our bad soil. Yeah, great tree if you're someone that thinks they can't grow anything. This does really, really well in my area, and it doesn't require a lot of care, and it makes you feel good because it grows so fast. So instant gratification. It's only been in the ground for like a month or two, 3 months maybe. I think I planted it in the late fall, maybe even in the winter. But look at all these branches. It was really like a stick, and now it's turning into like a little bush. So silverberry, it does produce a little berry, and they're edible. I had one before, but it had to come out when they put the wall, so I replaced it with this one. And you can see the leaves have these little silver speckles on there. It's like speckly, silvery, really pretty. And the little fruits have it too. They're like little tiny, they look like Tic Tacs, the size of a Tic Tac, and they're like red with little speckles on them. The birds like them. I've had them, they're good. But usually the birds get them before we do. What'd you guys make? A little hole? You guys are playing dirt? Yeah, that's nice. We have our persimmon tree here. So we have the persimmon here and the apple tree here. The persimmon is waking up. We have all this little green growth at the tips. All the little tips have new leaves starting to form. You see that? These branches are growing kind of down because when the fruit forms, it's heavy. So the tree tends to weep because of the fruit. But yeah. Since the tree started to fruit about 2 years ago, it hasn't stopped. So we've had a nice, this might have to come out. I think this might be dead or a little piece of it. So I might have to prune that. I don't see any green on it. But I've had 2 really good years of, 2 consistent years of persimmons. So I feel like it just, when it came into production, once it comes into production, it's been reliable year after year since it came into production about 2 years ago. So I think it takes a little while, at least it did for me, to get established, and then fruit comes every year. So hopefully we get a nice set this year. What are you doing, little boy? You making a castle? You're gonna need a shower. You're gonna need a shower. You're silly. And you tore up your pants. You're gonna need new pants. So here's the apple tree, the Arkansas black. Not awake yet. Or actually it is awake. See? I see a little bit of green growth. I think these are gonna be flowers. All these little tiny, they're not branches, I think they're fruiting little spurs. They have these little fruiting spurs. So it's not too far along, but it's awake. You can see the little fruiting spurs. Those are gonna be flowers. But I did do a little bit of pruning on this. I took a major branch off here, right there, and then I did a little bit of pruning at the top for shape and height, just a little bit. But it was getting kind of crowded in here, these 3, and I wanted to open up this space so I can walk in between them. But here's what it looks like from here. So this is new, this little rosemary. This is new. I put one here and I put another one over there. So that should grow nice and full in this area. I want it as tall as the chain link, which is 4 feet, to kind of give them a little bit of privacy and shade, and it smells really good. The dogs can be stinky. So yeah, so there's the citrus in ground. the yuzu. And this is what it looks like after winter. It did have the plant jacket, but it still lost a lot of leaves. It has a little bit of leaves, so it almost defoliated completely, but not quite. It's got big thorns.
Big thorns.
Mm-hmm. You don't want to get caught by one of these.
It got big thorns.
But it's got tons of little buds swelling, so this is gonna be beautiful in a week or two. You can see here. Oops.
Daddy, it got lots of thorns.
You see that? Like,
once Lucas touch one of them,
poke myself, but right there you see the little new branch starting to form there and leaves. I know, mamas, you have to be careful. See, there's everywhere where you see a thorn, like on the corner, there's a thorn, and the stem, there's a branch forming on every one.
A branch right here, right, Daddy?
See, there's a branch forming there, a branch forming there, and then one here. So right in between the stem and the thorn, there's branches forming. So it's gonna leaf out and branch out, and it's gonna do wonderful. We had a little bit of dieback, just a little. You can see, I'm gonna prune that. Just a little bit of dieback on the tips, and we did have the leaves fall off, almost all of them, except for a few that are still on the plant. And that's what it looks. Whoops. We'll get back a little. It's about what, 2 feet tall? Like, stand next to it, Olivia. Stand next to it. How tall are you? Did your doctor tell you how tall you are? Like 4 feet?
I think.
There's Olivia. So that's like 2 feet. The little bush. Careful, don't get poked. Oh, be careful with your hat. I just moved this out. This is the blood orange.
Dad, last time Lucas touched it, and I think he was bleeding, right? Was he?
No, he wasn't.
Oh, okay, but he touched like that part.
A thorn? Yeah.
Yep, he touched a thorn.
So yeah, let me
I know that you got hurt lots.
show you guys what the yard looks like from over here. There's a little tree I just showed you. So it didn't do quite as good as the other yuzu in the ground. The seedling yuzu, unprotected, does wonderful. This one struggles a little bit. It is grafted. This is grafted and it was protected, and yet it still struggled. So, but survived. So it's still pretty cold hardy. It's survived 2 winters. This is the 2nd winter. And both winters, it had a little bit of dieback on the tips, but not bad. So the blood orange in the container next to it, I just brought that out. It was in my porch right over here. All of the citrus in the containers did great. It overwintered beautifully in my porch right over there. Just on the porch, no frost cloth, no jacket, just moved them over there. So that was enough to keep them happy, just the porch itself. So yeah, Olivia, don't ride the scooter on the dirt. It doesn't work very well on the dirt. It needs to be on the concrete. Here's the apricot leafing out. Tons of fruit set. Lots of little like twins, like two little apricots together. You see? I don't know. I call them twins. I don't know. They're attached, like doubles. Some of them are just one. Like, see, like, there's one fruit, but a lot of them are like doubles. Like here, they're actually attached. It's one flower, but 2 fruit. See? And then I like these that are just one, because they grow bigger. These tend to not develop as good. They're like smaller. So it would benefit from thinning, but I just don't have the time. It's getting tall. I didn't prune it. again, I want shade. So I need height. So I did not prune this. Want some shade. Ooh, this video is gonna be long. But yeah, looking really pretty. That's new. I put that's a dwarf ever-bearing black mulberry. And I got those two stakes in the ground so that my dogs won't eat it because it's a baby. And I see green growth, so it's alive. And I did like that that wire. It's not chicken wire, it's some sort of galvanized wire with some zip ties and two metal stakes to keep my dogs from eating it until it gets a lot bigger. Knock it off, Forrest. I have two because I wanted more shade for them, especially now that the plum tree's gone. But this one's doing just fine, and the other that's in the other corner of the run has not leafed out. It looks like it's dormant, but it should be awake by now. So I don't know if it's struggling or if it's dying. But I did notice that my dog, that one, Forrest, keeps peeing on it. So and it goes, the pee goes, like the urine goes through the galvanized wire. So I know it lands on the tree or it lands around the tree. So I don't know if that's the reason why it's not thriving or it's dying or what. But he's not peeing on that one, and that one's green. He's peeing on that one and there's no leaves. So I don't know if dog urine is bad for baby trees, if it's like burning them or burning the roots or burning the tree. I don't know, but it's not growing, so I might have to try something different over there. And I need something in that corner, like a nice tree, because the plum's gone and it used to be a pretty nice sized tree and it would provide shade, and now it's gone. So
Daddy, what is this?
it's a sprinkler. It's a sprinkler. When we used to have a lawn, I used to use that before we had sprinklers, and now we don't have a lawn or sprinklers. This hasn't leafed out, but it's an Iranian green fig, but I think it's starting to wake up. Oops. Can you see that? You see those little buds? They're green, and it's really bendable, so it's alive. It's just a little bit more shaded here. It gets evening sun, so as soon as it starts to get a little bit warmer, now that we're having warmer temperature, it should leaf out. It's alive, so it made it through. Figs normally do pretty well here, although I have killed some. And I don't know why, but I've had figs in the past die in the ground here, but they always do great in the containers. So in the porch, I have a kumquat, Nagami kumquat, and a calamansi. There's still a little bit of fruit left on it. And then I just have like little flowers here. I don't do a lot of flowers, more into the fruit trees, but these are pretty.
Daddy,
They made it through winter just fine.
Daddy,
Beautiful blooms. Yes, Olivia?
remember the Halloween baskets we got before?
Mm-hmm.
Can we use them like as...
Beautiful flowers.
Can we just go to the Halloween basket like
Yes, you can use them. Yes.
So can we?
Mm-hmm. Sure can. And
Don't ever use them again though.
no, they had really pretty flowers all winter long, and I knew they were gonna do fine because I checked on the back of the label, and they were cold hardy, and they like some part shade. So this one is a azalea. No, I don't know what it is. It's like it's a white flower, and it smells really good. Camellia. Oh, what is it called? I forgot. This is an iris. So here they get a little bit of evening sun and like part shade in the porch. Jasmine. This still has fruit, green fruit. There's a lot of fruit on this Nagami kumquat. It bloomed really late last fall. There's a lot of baby fruit still. and there's still some calamansi. It was covered. I took most of the fruit off. It still has a few hanging on. Lots of new growth. Did a little tiny bit of pruning for shape. You see, they are beautiful. No winter damage, although they are pretty cold hardy varieties anyways. This leaf fell. But yeah, they did wonderful on my porch. They've actually done wonderful even out in the open. I had them out in the open like that before, and they made it just fine. So they're pretty cold hardy. So here's a kumquat. These are new. It's lavender. Yeah, this little lavender is new. I think it's English. One's English, and I think the other one's Spanish. I think this is a Spanish variety. These little lavenders are new. This is new. I don't know. It's a grape. It's starting to leaf out. I wanted to grow and cover this chain link fence, or part of the chain link fence. I think anything that grows through the fence is gonna get eaten by the dogs. Maybe they're gonna munch on the leaves. But anything on this side of the fence, it'll probably be okay. We'll see how they do. The dogs end up eating them, then maybe we'll find a new spot for them. And here we have a desert willow. Not looking good right now, but it's waking up. I can see little green buds, and this is gonna look beautiful maybe in May. It has a really beautiful flower, like a burgundy flower. It's a desert willow, but yeah, doesn't look great right now. I'll show it to you guys when it's in bloom. Really pretty. My jujube, really tall. I think it's my tallest tree, not my widest tree. That one and this one, but that one's a little taller, not as wide. But that's the lead jujube. I did a tiny bit of pruning, took a big branch from here, because I kind of wanted a high canopy so the dogs don't munch on them, because if they can reach them. Well, actually, it's got thorns. They leave it alone for the most part. But I do kind of want a high canopy and also wide so that they can have some shade in the summer. Another desert willow. Doesn't look like much right now, but it'll be really pretty. And another grape, waking up. The varieties. What are this? This one's a blueberry grape, heirloom variety. I think they're both seedless. This one's a ruby seedless, and a blueberry. Yeah, whatever I said, blueberry something. Another lavender, and here's the spot where my tree died, my plum tree. So I have this, this is all that's left. Another lavender. We have a seedling, a peach seedling. I put it in here, in this little pot. It was in a different location. It just popped up in the ground. Uprooted it and put it here. So it'll be growing here for a little bit. This is like the main branches of my plum tree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It had 5 main branches, and then here's the stump. I need to get that out so I can replace it with something else. Yeah, I think I have to drill into it and put something in there to speed up the decomposing process. And those are 2 big parts of the actual stem. But let me see if I can show you. No, I don't want to mess with it. It might just collapse. But yeah, that's all that's left. And then the rest of the branches are in the fire pit. The smaller branches. There's the other black mulberry. Forrest, knock it off. The other black mulberry, but no leaves. I'm hoping it's just taking some time. But yeah, so no tree there, but I will replace it with something else. Probably another plum. This is my Owari Satsuma, and it's got a whole bunch of little new growth. So it's gonna leaf out, branch out, and flower. Olivia, I can't, too loud. And this is the Sudachi. It looks better because it kept more leaves. It didn't, it has more leaves. So it did hold on to more of its leaves than the yuzu. The yuzu is almost completely bald. Well, it sticks, like it dropped almost all its leaves. This one did drop a lot of leaves, but it's holding on to more, so it looks better. It also has like a nicer shape, I think. 2 feet tall, probably. Nicer shape, very little dieback. You can see a lot of new growth everywhere. The new growth is kind of red. You can see like the little red stems forming. So it's more noticeable because I think they're like red. So the stems are green, and we're getting new stem and leaf growth. So looks pretty good. Again, not as good as the seedling or the ones in the pots. Look at that color, way darker, super bushy. This one's a little more sad, but it's gonna do just fine. They are in the ground in my zone 8B. We had a little bit of snow and really cold temperatures, so I'm happy that they're growing and they're not dead. So 2nd year in the ground. I hope we get some height to them. It'll be nice to get them to the top of the fence, like at 4 feet, to double in size. It'll look really nice and bushy. Here we have the peach tree, looking pretty. We have peaches already set. Those are the flowers, but the little peaches. I will thin it if it sets a lot. So all those little red things that look like little red flowers, they were like pink flowers, and the petals fell off, and they've been pollinated, and that'll fall off, and the fruit will get bigger. The little peaches, you can see a little peach inside. So we do have a lot of fruit set on here. I love this tree. I love peaches. I hope we don't lose this tree. It looks really good right now, but it does have the same thing that the plum had. Another little rosemary, sorry. It does have something going on with it. I can show you what killed the plum. Is something here is the trunk. It looks really good. It's pretty solid. There is no damage on the trunk, but then when you get to here where it starts to branch out, it breaks off into 3 major branches, like 3 main branches. Right in here, you can see what I'm talking about. This is what killed my plum tree. Something is burrowing into the tree here. You can see these little entry points. Some sort of insect. This is healing. You can see it's starting to heal and grow over the wound. So it should grow over and heal over time. It should heal itself and just kind of grow over and cover that. But the bug is in here. There's damage. You can see the little holes. So I hope I don't lose this tree because I love this tree. There's damage here, there's damage here, there's damage on all three major branches. I did use the IV organics on it to try to protect it. I do have to do it again because it's like washed off, but I have to do it again. I can still do it. It's still pretty early in the season. Actually, you can do it at any time of the year, but we do have some damage here, damage there, but it's surviving, and I feel like it hasn't spread too much. It's going to have a beautiful crop. It's gonna have a nice set of peaches. They're gonna be amazing, and it looks like the bug it's not spreading. I feel like it's kind of stopped or it's halted, and I feel like the tree is it's coming back, it's healing itself. I think it's gonna survive. I'm going to be optimistic, and hopefully it doesn't kill it like it did the plum tree. But yeah, it's looking good other than some of the damage, but it hasn't spread. So, I mean, nothing lives forever, but I think it's gonna live for a few more years. I think peaches are not really long-lived trees, and it is about 8 or 9 years old, but the canopy looks good. The major branches look pretty good. It looks pretty good overall. I think it's healing. Maybe the bug's gone. I hope it doesn't come back. You can start to see damage like in the late summer. I don't know what bug it is, and I don't spray my trees. So it's all organic. I do a dormant an oil, a spray, like a dormant oil in the late winter, like before it blooms, and I fertilize with organic fertilizer. So yeah, I don't want to put any chemicals to get rid of any pesticides or anything like that. I don't want to be eating that stuff, so I think it'll survive. I'll let you guys know. It looks good though now, and I think it's gonna look really pretty in summer, and it's gonna produce a nice crop. So this is new. I don't remember the name. I think it's called a strawberry tree, but I don't remember like the scientific name. But it's a strawberry tree. Produces a little small, almost like a little bit bigger, like a strawberry size fruit, a little bit smaller. It's pretty good. I've had it before. It's a little grainy, but it's an evergreen, and I wanted evergreen. I wanted something evergreen. I need more evergreens. So it's really small right now, but it'll grow. I did put this fig tree in the ground. It's waking up. It's actually a fig tree that's never been good in my area. It never gives me, it produces fruit, but it never ripens the figs. So I think it's just not a good variety for my area, but I couldn't just kill the tree or just get it out and throw it away because it's alive, and I don't like killing things. It's alive, and it looks really pretty. It leaves out, it's a nice pretty tree. It just doesn't have enough like time in my area to ripen its fruit. Like, it wants to ripen the fruit really late, like super late in the fall or like early winter. So it would do good in areas where you don't have harsh fall weather or winter weather. So it needs like a longer warm It needs to be warm pretty much all year long, I think. When the temperatures drop, the fruit just gets ruined. So I've never had it. So what I'm going to do, the plan is not to kill it. So I put it in the ground and I'm going to graft over these 4 branches. So I'll have like a 4-in-1. So I'll graft maybe like, I really like the tiger panat, I don't know how to pronounce it, but that variegated fig. It's red on the inside, it's variegated. The leaves I think are variegated and the fruit is variegated. And then I'll add 3 more varieties, so I'll have 4 varieties on here. I'm gonna try grafting it instead of killing it. This is new. Another pineapple guava. Again, I wanted more evergreens in my backyard so it doesn't look so like bald and barren in the winter when all the deciduous trees are sleeping. This is what it looks like. I hope I get some fruit on that tree. Here's the other corner of my yard. And then I have a sage. I just planted this. It's like a California native. I think it's blue sage. I don't know, it smells really good. It's a pretty silvery color and it's evergreen. And then we have the big wonderful pomegranate tree. I'll show you how tall it is. There's the trunk. You can see all that the little red leaves starting to leaf out. The wonderful pomegranate. It's awake. It's waking up. It's definitely awake. It's pretty tall too. It's taller than the peach tree, I think. Here's the peach tree. There's a palm. Yeah, it's a little taller than the peach tree. Well, the wall's 6 feet tall, so that's another 2 feet. It's like 8 feet tall. Whoa, these tour videos are always really long. I think I talk a lot. But that's what they look like. That's it. I have a trifoliate citrus. It's actually trifoliata. I'm not sure if it's flying dragon, the variety, because it's not. I don't think it's flying dragon. I just think it's a trifoliate. It's not actually a citrus. I don't know what you call it. Like a true citrus, but it's in the citrus family. It's related to citrus. But it's cold hardy. It's also deciduous. If it gets really cold, it'll be a deciduous tree or shrub. It blooms really pretty. It's got those thorns. The leaves have the 3 shaped leaves. That's why it's trifoliata something. There is a variety called flying dragon, but I don't think I have the flying dragon variety because the stems are growing pretty straight, and the flying dragon's like more distorted or curly shape type of look to it. But I like it because it'll be pretty and it'll be evergreen in my area. It's not it doesn't have any leaves right now because I did prune it and I took the leaves off. It's not because they fell off. They do get a really pretty color in the fall. You get oranges and reds, and it'll normally hold on to its leaves. If it gets really, really cold, it will drop them. But super cold hardy little trifoliata type of, I don't know, don't remember the scientific name. Just know it's related to the citrus, and there's a lot of hybrids like the one I have on that opposite side of the yard. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's it. think I showed you guys everything. Yeah, so everything is looking beautiful. I'm excited for the new growing season. And yeah, the only bad thing was the plum, but eventually everything dies. But play nice. All right, I hope everybody enjoys their gardens now that spring is here. And yeah, get out there and have fun. Are you being naughty? Are you being naughty? Oh, you need a bath. You're covered in dirt. Let's get you in the bath. Let's get you in the shower. Hi, Olivia.
Hi.
You're both going straight in the shower.
What?
Yes, straight into the shower. All right, bye.
Daddy, look at me. I want to know.
Say bye.
Bye.